Reggae Boys, we meet once again. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Filippo, host of Tactile Manage TV, and today we're going to do a preview for the US men's national team versus the Reggae Boyz for the Gold Cup quarterfinals of 2021. Now for this video, I'm going to have the help of my dear friend JD from IMAX at Football. Go check out his channel, great Jamaican, Caribbean channel as well. He talks about the CONCACAF in general, and he'll probably do a watch along for the Jamaica versus USA game as well. You guys feel free to watch it. If you don't like me, you can go enjoy it with him, but I could be nice, so you can watch it with me as well. Now in this video, we're going to do a full preview. As I said, we're going to do the predicted lineup. JD will provide the predicted lineup for the Reggae Boyz. I will be doing two lineups that I would go with for the US men's national team. Now what Berhalter would do, because trying to predict what Berhalter will do is just complete nonsense at this point. Who knows what he will do? I don't think Berhalter knows what Berhalter will do. The US men's national team is set to face the Reggae Boyz this Sunday, July 25th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, the US did have an unfortunate injury of Walker Zimmerman, which was one of the best players of the US in the group stage, our center back, and we brought into camp Cade Cowell and Henry Kessler, which either one can replace Zimmerman. It's most likely to be Henry Kessler, and Cade Cowell could be there as well to replace Paul Riola. If Paul Riola is not fit to go, he did have a muscle injury earlier in the tournament. With all that said, the US men's national team C team will have a tough challenge, as when we defeated Jamaica back in 2019 for the Gold Cup semifinals, we did have Weston McKennie and Pulisic lead the way. Now this US men's national team really struggles to create in open play. Even though we have scored in open play, they really struggle to create. However, we have been able to take advantage of teams by starting the game very strong, getting early goals and holding to that lead as we did to Haiti and Canada. I won't talk about Martinique because we just ran over them. Jamaica does show some inconsistencies throughout the matches, and they don't seem to have a set system yet, and it's something the US could take advantage of early in the game or even later. Plus, Andre Blake, their goalkeeper, is an MLS goalkeeper. Liam Moore is a championship center back, and you know who we got? We got the player that loves to score on championship and MLS defenses, Daryl DK. Daryl DK brace, confirmed. Okay, that might have been a joke, but I wouldn't be surprised if DK finds a way to score on these guys. Now, one thing I'm personally worried about is that Sam Vines Leon Bailey matchup if Leon Bailey plays on the right wing. So that's something I'm very worried about. But look. Enough of me talking. Let's hear it from JD and talk a little bit about the Jamaican national team, hear what he has to say about them, and then I'll come back at the very end to give my two lineups for the US men's national team that I would go with for this match against Jamaica. So let's bring on JD. All right, JD. So let's start with this here. For the Reggae Boyz, the Jamaican national team, here in the group stage, tell me one or two positives from this team.
They played 3 games. The first positive, I would say, most won't say it, it's a positive. They played the two first games. They didn't play well and they got the win. And then for the final game, they exploited the fact that they have already qualified and decided that, okay, we're going to try and play a passing system, where in which they played Speedy Williams and DJ, accompanied by Tyreek McGee, and it shows the fluidity that they can actually transition into a passing game. Yes, it's still not done because they still need a natural, traditional CDM to play in the system with 2 of those guys to complete the process that they can actually tackle from midfield. But I saw that they do have a passing system going if it's required, but it's kind of limited. So it's a positive and a negative. The second positive, I would say flat out, it's that guy named Corey Burke. He offers a pressing game that relieve the pressure and both system that Jamaica plays over the 3 games in which I saw him featured in. I think Corey Burke is pretty much of an exceptional talent. Yes, he's playing at Philadelphia Union, but he's a good guy and a good additional player to the team. So those are the 2 positives I saw throughout the game itself. The games itself.
JD, for anyone that doesn't know, what position is Corey Burke playing for Jamaica?
He's coming off the left-hand side, like a left attacking midfielder / striker role. So he interchanges with Andre Gray when he was actually playing there. He changes with Shamar Nicholson. So he's a fluid player, to be honest, but he's predominantly coming off the left-hand side.
Okay, so for Sunday, real quick, is Bobby Reed back or not?
We've gotten the reports that he traveled with the team because he passed 2 PCR tests. But he had took one yesterday, and they are awaiting the result to see if he's going to play in this game. But more than likely, if you pass 2 ones before, I think you're going to pass the third one. So he will be available for the third one. But that's the actual reports that came out from the J5 themselves.
Okay, so it seems like Bobby Reed is recovered and he will be back on Sunday, which is very important for this team, for the Jamaican squad. One quick question before we go to the predicted starting 11 that Jamaica might go with and your game prediction of who will win. Why is Leon Bailey struggling so much in the group stage?
Respect to your stars plays a big role. If you're an industrial player and you're a star, it's easier for you to fit in every system. I think they're trying to make him fit into their system. And that's what he's struggling with because they played 2 systems so far. They tried to go 2 in midfield, which is a 4-4-2 system, and play him as a right midfielder. And he had to do too much work because you have a guy called Alvas Powell behind him. He seems to be always trying to overlap, and he defends a little bit, to be honest. So he's giving Bailey too much work to do. So in that system, he really have to come from deep, and obviously teams are actually marking him out. And in the second system, where in which they played a 4-2-3-1, Ups played a single role on him, and no one had the additional ability to go forward and pick off the opposing player to take the pressure off him. So I think they should actually try to find a role that he could play, a free role. That's why every time I've said try and play him in the cam role. So that means he can fluctuate to left and right, that he can't be chopped. So he has been chopped in all of these games. Just mark him out. No one else will relieve the pressure off him, and that's the massive problem. That's why he can't shine in none of these games. Pick your system around the star player and it will work. Not the star player should try to find a way to fit in your system.
Okay, so let's go to this. The starting 11, and this is not your starting 11, it's what you think Jamaica will go with, correct?
Yes, because what I've learned about the American team, they start very fast. They have a period of the first 20 minutes where in which they try to camp in your half, to eye press you, to force you into mistakes, to see how good you are. So I think one player that I've talked about will change the entire system. And I think Corey Burke will be featured in this game. And I think they will revert back to the 4-2-3-1 system.
4-2-3-1. So let's start with your goalkeeper, Andre Blake, right?
Yes, Andre Blake. We saw a little from Dylan Barnes. He never did enough. One thing we saw, he's very comfortable on his feet. I think he has a good eye for passes and everything. So he could be a long stay in the Jamaican team, but not as a starter right now. So Andre Blake, hands down.
So give me your right back and your left back.
The right back and left back came not because they are the best. It's because they don't have much personnel challenging them. Alvas Powell will remain over there because they tried O'Neal Fisher, and O'Neal Fisher offers a better silky touch than Alvas Powell, but he doesn't marks his men very good. He doesn't pick up a position good enough, and hence why they lost the game, because he made a bad rush challenge and easy well slot Costa Rica inside to chip it over for the header for Ryan Ruiz. That seems to always find a way to beat Jamaica, even if he's 50.
And who's your left back? 50.
Yes, my left back. Taxi had a slight injury. We don't know if he's going to recover, so you have to put 2 in space of that. You can't just put 1, because if he's fit enough, maybe tomorrow or the other day, they would go for him. But I think Amari Bell would be the starter right now. Amari Bell offers much more defensive solidity, not because he's a better defender. He's much more of a listener, and he's organized. He pressed when the next fullback ain't pressing. But I think Taxi pressed and he just play high all of a sudden in the Jamaican team.
And Amari Bell got his goal this season on Gold Cup, right? He got an own goal.
Yes, he had an old goal as well.
JD, quickly, so we can skim through these starting 11 here, because I need your prediction still. Who are the 2 center backs?
The 2 center backs, flat out, Moore and Low.
Moore and Low. Okay, and who are your 2 central midfielders?
I would go back with Hector and Daniel Johnson.
Daniel Johnson and Mikel Hector. And then attacking midfielder, your Cam.
Once Bobby Reed is fully fit, because obviously, you know, even though you recover, sometimes you won't be fully fit. But if he's fully fit, he's going to be in it for me. But if that's the case, they have to make a change, I would completely change the front line. I think I would put Liam Bailey in the attacking midfielder, something I told you about. But we know that won't happen, and Bobby Reed might be fit. So Bobby Reed make that Cam position for me.
Now give me your right winger and your left winger.
Turgot proved that he can play over the right wing because he was the best player on the pitch in the Costa Rica match. And he played over the right-hand side at that point. He played only 66 minutes, and he showcased that he's an industrial player and he will do the shift for the team. So I think it's a time for them to put Turgot over the right, but I think they're going to still put him over the left. So put Turgot over the left, okay, and Bailey over the right.
Bailey over the right. And who's your center forward? Is it Shamar Nicholson?
No, the center forward will be Corey Burke. The guy has done nothing wrong, and he starts to press, and that's something I think will alleviate the pressure from Jamaica, because USA starts so fast. So that's the whole story. I think Corey Burke should get his start, and the guy has done nothing wrong. Andre Gray looks solid. Shamar Nicholson, I wouldn't start him. I know they favored him in Jamaica and in the system, but I wouldn't start him. He's not a clinical player. He doesn't help anyone in the team more than himself.
Last but not least, what's your prediction for this game? And I know we still need to see who's going to play, the starting 11, what Mr. Berhalter will do this time, who he's going to play. But what would you go with? What do you think will be the result of this game?
I think I would go with 1-1 and a penalty shootout.
And then who wins?
I want to say Jamaica win, but I would go with United States.
Okay,
tipping it and penalty shootout.
Your heart says Jamaica. Your mind says United States.
Yes. I think the mental edge will still pay dividend over the Jamaicans.
JD, thank you very much.
Okay, so now let's go with the two lineups that I would like to see the U.S. men's national team go. It's how I would approach this game. It doesn't mean Berhalter will he probably won't, to be honest. So, assuming Paul Riola is not 100%, we don't have Walker Zimmerman, and I'm not going to throw in Cade Cowell in there at age 17. Just arrived. He could come in as a sub if he's added to the roster. But come on, we're not going to start a 17-year-old right away. He just arrived. Also, let's also not forget that the Jamaican national team is very physical. So, certain players like Gianluca Buzio might struggle even more. But the first way I would play us would be a 4-4-2 formation, but a 4-4-2 diamond. This is how it would go. Matt Turner would be our goalkeeper, obviously. The right back would be Shaq Moore, which he's in extremely good form. And also the left back will be Sam Vines. Honestly, we could also go Shaq Moore at the left back. He's pretty good there as well. And have Reggie Cannon play the right back. I'll be good with that as well. Our two center backs would be James Sands and Miles Robinson. Our holding midfielder, our CDM, would be Kellen Acosta, because I do think we're going to need some physicality there. And that's something Acosta actually does, effort and physicality. Our two central midfielders of this diamond formation would be Gianluca Busio and Sebastian Lletget, to try to connect to our attacking midfielder Eric Williamson to try to create for Matthew Hoppe and Daryl DK up top. Now, I really believe the DK Hoppe combo will work very well. I mean, if you put Zardes there, it might work well as well, but I think just DK and Hoppe will probably be the best fit for this game, especially with the physicality and what DK can bring against a player like Liam Moore. And I was talking about Andre Blake, but that part was just a joke. Now let's talk about the other formation I would be okay with us going with, and it would be with a 3-5-2. Now this 3-5-2 would not be my priority, but let me explain how we try to approach it now that we don't have Walker Zimmerman. I wouldn't want to start Henry Kessler, and I wouldn't want to start Donovan Pines for this match as well. So Sands would go off as a 6 when we are in our offensive shape, and as a back center back when we are in our defensive shape. Essentially, we are a 5-3-2 on defense and a 2-6-2 on offense, as weird as that sounds. So our goalkeeper would be Matt Turner, obviously. The right center back is Reggie Cannon. Yes, and the way I see it is Reggie Cannon can play a similar role to Kyle Walker. Would this work? Has Berhalter tested it? I don't know. I would have tested it at practice, see how it goes. I think Reggie Cannon could play as a right center back just fine. The central center back would be James Sands, and the left center back would be Miles Robinson. Our right wing back would be Shaq Moore. Our left wing back would be George Bello. I would put George Bello there instead of Sam Vines because it's a wing back. So you want someone that offers a little more on offense, and I think George Bello does offer more on offense than Sam Vines. The two central midfielders would be Sebastian Lletget and Kelna Costa. Lletget being the guy that connects the ball with the attacking midfielder to create, and Kelna Costa would be our ball-winning midfielder. Now the attacking midfielder would be Eric Williamson to try to create. I don't think Gianluca Busso would work in a game like this. Too physical. Williamson has more physicality, and I think he's a better option for this match. Now up top, I would have the same combo as the previous one, Matthew Hoppe and Daryl DK, for the reasons I explained. Alright guys, this wraps up the video. As I promised on the other video, I do need to tell you my prediction. I'm going to go with the United States winning this match 2-0. I think we're going to hold a clean sheet. I don't know how, but we're going to hold it. And we'll get the win. The Jamaican midfield really struggles. I think they will struggle. We will get an early goal again and we'll get the win. Look, but this is what my heart tells me. In my mind, I know this game's going to be tough, and I actually agree with JD. It might just be a draw and go to penalty shootouts, which can go either way. It's very balanced. I think Jamaica has more talent in certain sectors of the field, but I think the United States is a more stable team, I would say. Jamaica is very inconsistent. With all that said, guys, I want to thank you all very much for watching. Let's remain optimistic. Let's believe the U.S. men's national team can win Gold Cup despite everything that happened in the group stage and everything Berhalter has done. And I want to thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great day. And then, wait, before I go, I'll see you guys on Sunday. See ya.